All right, here is the recording for Wednesday, December 7th for 7th grade social studies with Mrs. Bremer. Please open your online school, get your Human Odyssey books out, open your Social 07A course, do some exercising. So maybe pause right now, do a little exercising. And December 7th is known as Pearl Harbor Day. That is the day in history when Japan attacked the United States of America at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. So that you might be seeing things about Pearl Harbor throughout the day today. All right, think about from yesterday, what was the importance of the Silk Road? So we're going to review yesterday's lesson. Then we're going to go into the ideas of the Indus. So we're going to leave China, go to the Indus River Valley. There's reading and a Nearpod activity. We're going to talk about the Aryan migration, so a group of people called the Aryans, and the development of Hinduism. Have you heard of Hinduism before? Describe the Hindu belief in reincarnation. Explain the origins and key features of the caste system, and identify the sacred writings of Hinduism. So those are just a couple of things that we're going to look over today. I have a Nearpod activity for you and a quiz. So be bold, be courageous, let's be your best. So what was the importance of the Silk Road? Remember, work now, play later, get the work done right now, okay? Let's be smart about it. So the importance of the Silk Road. We looked at this map yesterday. We talked about goods that went from China to Europe, like silk and spices, and then goods that went from Europe to China, like glass, wine, perfumes. And notice that there are what's the difference between those red and blue lines there? Land and sea. There's many different routes. There's not just one road. There are many roads many routes. And people have, throughout the ages, have moved for economic needs, meaning for work, to make money, or just to survive and live. Like the early people searching for food migrated from Asia to the Americas, and then the Sumerians would travel the rivers to trade and get other materials. And then later on, which we haven't talked about, explorers started searching for new ways to trade around new trade routes. Okay, and then people also moved in the 1840s from from Ireland to the United States because there was a famine. They had no food, so they moved. And even today, people will travel across the country or the world to find work. Okay, and these Silk Roads were the very first trading routes and the most famous ones. And they traded not just items, but they also brought ideas. Okay, and some of those ideas are kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So remember, with the Han Dynasty, they talked about, or they followed many of the ideas of Confucius. Okay, they took his ideas and they're like, yes, even though Confucius had passed away, they built a university. They set up tests that men would have to take to get. They would have to earn their space in a job, and they made sure that leaders were fair and just to make the people happy. All right, so let's go into the lesson, page 179 to 183. There is going to be a Nearpod activity that you're going to be answering questions, so get ready to do some work. And, you should be in your course. Go to your Social 07A class, check the lesson for the day, and the lesson for ideas of the Indus. And new students, you're also going to be working on that getting started. So new students, keep going through this, and then don't forget there are some vocabulary quiz. They are showing overdue. I do want you to complete them. All right, so new students, make sure you're working on those. All right, today's lesson is found in Content, Unit 6, Lesson 6. you're going to want to read the lesson introduction, read that to yourself, then go and do the reading, the read aloud, or there's a read aloud right here. All of these class slides and this recording are right here. Okay, so you can click on those. Once you finish the reading, go to the Nearpod activity. Then you can check out the quiz. The quiz is like worth 3 points. And then and then if there's some things, the ideas of the Indus beyond the lesson, there's some interesting things about yoga there if you want to check that out. All right, so the Aryans conquered the Indus River Valley people and introduced their own ideas of how society should be organized. 3 millennia, meaning 3 million or 3,000 years later, their influence can still be seen in the religion and traditions of more than 1 billion people in the land we know as India. Okay, so we're talking about history. This is how India kind of, people that living in India today, this is how we can trace back how they live today. So we're going to go back in history to find out how people in India are living today. So we've gone from China and we're coming back over to India, the Indus Valley. So pages those are the wrong pages. It's actually 179 to 183. Okay, so that's going to be pages 179 to 173. All right, and let's put in so that should be actually pages 179 to 183. Okay, pages 179 to 183 is what you're going to be there. You're going to take a look at the birth of Hinduism and Aryan settlers. So this group of people called the Aryans. There's a map on page 180. We're going to take a look at that. The emerging caste system. Hinduism and reincarnation, a path to release, yoga. So they talk about yoga. So, and then continue on to the Nearpod activity. So you can pause, do the reading, and then you're going to go on to the Nearpod activity. Here are some of the main ideas from the reading. The Aryans differed from the people whose lands they invaded. They thought of themselves as superior to the darker-skinned people of the Indus Valley. Over time, a caste system developed. It had 4 distinct classes or castes. There were also people who were outside the caste system. These people, who became known as outcasts or untouchables, were considered the bottom level of society. And you'll also read about some Hinduism. They thought that there were thousands of gods. They believed in reincarnation. So when the body dies, the self is reborn either as a human or an animal. Okay, and that's kind of what this picture shows. And it's an endless cycle of death and rebirth. And it's as many lives as necessary to reach spiritual perfection. Living well, you can be born into a higher caste. So everybody would try to live the best lives that they could so that they would come back into a higher caste. So this is going to be in the Nearpod. Okay, this slide right here. And you're going to use this to help you with the questions on the Nearpod. So this is from the Code of Manu, which is a Hindu book of sacred law. So, and they talk about the Purusha, which is one of the gods, and they assigned separate duties to the classes which had sprung from his mouth, arms, thighs, and feet. So here are some of the different classes. The Brahmins, the Kastira, the Vaishya, and the Sudra. Okay, and then what did they had? So you've got teaching and studying, protecting of people, tending of cattle, sacrificial rites, trade and commerce, agriculture, and then then the Shudra provides services to all these other classes. So you're going to use that to help you do the drag and drop. So here is the caste system. These are the different levels. The bottom level is the untouchables. So who is at the top? Use, again, use this slide. And these are in order. Okay, the highest rank down to the lowest. So use that. And so you've got the Shudra, Brahmin, Kshira, Vaishya. Okay, where are they going to go? Farmers. Where would farmers be? Which class do they go in? Who is allowed to study? Who oversees sacrificial rites? Who are warriors and nobles? Who would be someone who washes dishes? What's the largest population of all the people? And what's the smallest population of all the people? So drag and drop those. Then this is also in the Nearpod using page 180. You're going to answer these questions. Okay, so you're going to take a look at what 3 modern countries occupy the areas the Aryans traveled through and settled. Okay, so the Aryans started here. Okay, and then where did they travel and where did they settle? What mountain range did they come from? On what plain? Do you see a plain in here? An area that's flat. In what direction did the Indus River Valley flee from the Aryan? So if the Aryans were coming down, where did people go? And what's the location? How would you give the location using the absolute, meaning giving the numbers? Okay, and then relative location. So write those answers. Like where is this? So that where they ended up the easternmost point. Where did they migrate? Over here. Where would you say that is in relation to some other things? All right, so that's in the Nearpod activity. And then again, yoga was developed in India thousands of years ago. Check out the Beyond the Lesson for that. And make sure you go do the quiz, complete the Nearpod activity. Tomorrow we'll do the Hindu view, so we'll go through the Hindu again. Check your grades. Do you need to upgrade any grades? You can email me, even though we don't have class today, you can email me. And so do the reading, the Nearpod, and the quiz. Make sure your grades are good. And today will be amazing. So wake up and smile. Positivity is a choice that becomes a lifestyle. And these are types of things that you might find in yoga. All right, have a good day. I will see you.